Do not edit your photos like this guy. This photo is extremely ugly. Please stop photography immediately. Oh my God, the level of disrespect. Welcome back to another episode of Gently Roasting and Editing Your Photos. This is our 10th episode. Round of applause. Thanks for watching. Before we start today's video, I put this photo on my Instagram yesterday asking if anyone could help me out. All I wanted was to hold the moon. And now this poor guy in the background, wherever this man is, I'm sorry. I hope you're well. I hope you're eating good. I hope you found some pants that fit you. But if this video somehow finds you, I'm sorry. What you've done here is you've put Godzilla in my photo, okay? I just wanted to hold the moon, and now I'm holding Godzilla's butt crack, so thank you for that. You put a whole galaxy above me, and why is his ass glowing? It's just got molten lava coming out of his butt crack. Thanks. Why do I look like Mr. Beast there? I swear to God, that no upper lip smile. That's actually not even funny. We love a good sun flare. That ass crack's gone supernova. This one's actually so good. It's so subtle. Imagine this poor guy's like turned around. He actually sees that I'm holding a Polaroid of him with his ass crack out. This is a really cool photo. 992 GD3 in a beautiful spec. And also incredible framing here with the plane, the lighting, the car, the location. Even you got really lucky with your conditions as well. Just the whole photo is really, really cool. I'm gonna take some yellows out. But now that I've done that, I don't want it to affect our bronze wheels here. I'm gonna bring the saturation in back to the wheels. I'll actually zoom in a bit more. I'll press Y on my keyboard just to make sure we've got that color just right. Do some basic adjustments, highlights, shadows, whites, a little bit of texture. This photo would look great with a bit of clarity. Something else that I've noticed is we've got a lot of shadow here and nothing here. And so my eye is really getting drawn right here to this light spot of our runway. So I'm going to bring a linear gradient up and just bring all the exposure down. And just by doing that one little adjustment, we've now created so much more central focus to the car. I really want to see now what a radial filter is going to look like on one side of our photo. Now I'm going to have a tough time deciding which side. Do I want to keep the wing darker as well? Yeah, I think I want the radial filter coming from the right side into left. So just giving us a little bit of an effect from the right side of our photo. Take a bit of clarity out. We will try and create a little bit more bloom. Let's try and turn these headlights on. Now, I know the Porsche have this matrix system with 1, 2, 3, 4 lights, and I never know which one to turn on. And we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. And on this side, we've only got 1, 2 that we can see. I think I'm doing more damage than good here. Just turn on your goddamn headlights next time so I don't have to do this. I really want to bring up our midtones here. Usually what I like to do is get a matte finish on my highlights, but because we have a lot of texture in the sky, I'm actually going to go the other way a tiny bit and get a bit of a sharper look in our highlights. A little bit of fade, play into those shadows a little bit more. Not too much though. I'm going to get another radial gradient that'll more or less affect the central part of our photo, add some texture. Let's see how good Lightroom does if I just select sky. That's actually done a very good job. It doesn't matter if it was touching a little bit of our subjects here, because I just wanted to bring the exposure down of our sky a little bit and a little bit more saturation in. I just wanted to bring some luminance up in our blues, which is the brightness of the color. And last thing I'm going to do is in the blue channel here, up a little bit. So we just get an overall global dark blue effect over the photo, something like that. There's before, after, before, after. Pretty happy with that. So this is the before photo and the after. I like how you've tried to AI this car out over here and you've put like some mountains in the back. You haven't done the same to the other side. Like that just didn't deserve to get mountains. I understand the angle you're trying to get, but you're also not centered perfectly behind the car, which kind of defeats the purpose. If you're going to take a photo of the back of a car, you're either trying to get a back 3/4 or just a dead straight back shot, not whatever the fuck's going on here. But this edit is nuked. Like this is the most disgusting car edit I've ever seen. I don't know what's going on here. You should not be allowed to have an Adobe subscription. Okay? Do not edit your photos like this guy. I saw this photo and I really wanted to try and give it a bit of an edit. When I go to edit any photo, I always like to scroll, put like a preset on, which helps me give me a base in terms of what colors and which direction I want to go for my photo. And then I usually put that on and then start my adjustments from there. I want to edit these ones from scratch today, but if you are interested in getting any Lightroom presets from me, I've got them all linked down in my description. Each preset gets their own walkthrough tutorial to show you how to use the preset to the best of its ability on what kind of photo. And all the packs also come with raw files from me if you want to practice your editing on any of my photos as well. So the first thing I like to do is get our exposure right and also see what we're working with. Take some highlights down, shadows up. Something else I've really loved to do with my photography recently is really build that into the surroundings of my photo. So the location here is nuts. A beautiful mountain chain in the back. I feel like this photo could have been a lot better if there was more location and the car was smaller. But let's get a base edit going on first. Put a linear mask and we're going to subtract it from our subject. This car is white, so it did a pretty good job. But let me get a brush in as well and just fix this up a little bit more. And we're going to darken the exposure of the ground, bit of clarity on the ground. And usually with these edits, the only part of the image that actually has any clarity is sometimes the car, because this car has some sharp edges to it, so we can add some clarity and some texture on that, and the ground. The rest of the photo, I actually like to take clarity out of most of the time, especially for a nature photo. Bit of clarity in the ground, bit of saturation can come out as well. Another linear gradient we can put over the sky, start darkening the top there a bit. Select subject, get a brush, subtract it from the mountains back here. About 30% of the saturation out of this just to get the original white color and some highlights, bit of exposure up, and like I said, some texture and some clarity. Some shadows can come down as well. Duplicate and invert our car mask so it's affecting everything apart from our car. And I'm going to adjust our white balance to more of a colder tone. And while I'm in the inverted mask, I'm going to come into our tone curve, some dark aqua / greens to the shadows and a bit of reds in our highlight. I'm going to come into our HSL and change the blues to a little bit more aqua, just slightly. Nice, subtle, and simple. That one's pretty nice. Edit in Photoshop, edit, paste the moon. Let me get the center of the photo first with a ruler. And I'm just going to change the blend mode to lighten, filter, blur, Gaussian blur 1.5. And just put a little moon in. I really just want to see what Photoshop can make if you stood a little bit further back and you had more landscape in your photo and less focus on the subject. I feel like that's the best we're gonna get. Looks like a panoramic shot at the moment. Beautiful. Okay, so obviously this is AI generated, but for the sake of my point I'm trying to make here, this is more or less how I would have shot the photo. The car is further back in the photo and there's more landscape around your whole image and it's less focus on just the car like the original photo here. I think the car is way too close. Huge part about photography is getting that sense of scale. I obviously don't know the location that you're in, but it looks like you have a lot of space where you are. So it looks like you can easily take at least 10, 20 steps back and really use more of the location to your advantage. And that's actually more or less how I would have shot it. There's before, after. Dean McMaster. What a name. Dean. I don't know about that, man. We're trying to keep it PG over here. You do get some points for the Ford Cortina with the MILF sticker. Why does this photo look like security cam footage? And the whole edit, the HDR edit, you can tell the HDR because you can see the clarity around. When you get in this line in the back of the sky here, and that's not good. You don't want to be getting that in your photos, and it just makes me very uncomfortable. But no, sorry, this photo is extremely ugly. Please stop photography immediately. Oh my God. Where is that wheel touching? Look at his face. He's like, no. He's so proud of what he's done as well. Oh my God, the level of disrespect. I would go to jail if you did that to my car. Someone actually tried to steal my car the other day actually and smashed the lock with a screwdriver. I've had to get a whole bunch of security stuff done to it now. If you're not from Melbourne, at the moment, we have so many cars being stolen at the moment because if you're under 18, there's no consequence for stealing a car, essentially. Our bail laws are way too relaxed. So if you're like 15, you can go and steal a car, get caught, pay the bail and get out the next day, basically. It is actually fucked. If I caught that bastard trying to steal my car, or if I caught someone doing this, I would go to jail for manslaughter, 100%. And this guy is he's about to do the same. He looks like he wasn't ready for that. Ah, that makes so much sense. You're all from Belgium, the least intelligent part of Europe. I will be honest, I think this shot does go pretty hard. But I think it just needs a crop and get all that shit from the bottom. It needs some light from the top. It needs some darkness from below. It just needs a fat black and white preset on it. That's all it needs, bro. This shot goes so much harder now that it's black and white. And to be honest, it's a good looking car and it's a good looking bike. There's not much I don't like about this photo. I actually think it's pretty cool. Nah, well done. It's just funny. I really want to say that this is the worst photo we've ever had on this channel, but it is somehow not. We've had worse. If you've seen some of the other episodes, we've definitely had worse than this. If some of you remember the Hyundai photo that was sent in, the one that looked like a Bigfoot spotting, I think that's got to be the worst photo we've ever had. I feel like this has got to be pretty close to the top. It could possibly even be on the podium. What's so funny about these pictures, and I've also been there as well, you've had like this idea and you're trying to conceptualize it. I think that is one of the hardest things about creating in general and photography, is having the idea of your shot and then making that happen and actually getting the result you had from your brain into a final photo. That's really difficult to somehow channel that. And that's why this is so funny. You definitely get a point for trying, but when it's so bad, I mean, there's nothing about this photo that gets you any credibility points. It's terrible. The only point you get is you've actually gone out and tried to take a photo. I think it's time to put down the camera, mate. You've managed to get more rocks and dirt in this photo than anything else. So I feel like you would like geology though. So maybe get into that. This is such a sick photo. If I was going to get a McLaren, this would probably be the color I'd get it in. The McLaren orange is something else. It's such a nice color. Let me straighten up your horizon here. UK plates, I'm guessing this is like somewhere high country, surely. Duplicate and invert our mask. Bring some exposure down. There's some pretty yucky colors in the sky here. I don't know if anyone follows Mark Scene Media. He's the photographer for Top Gear. Just go check him out on Instagram. He shoots the most ridiculous cars. I feel like this is a photo that he would take. Yeah, I feel like some shadows could probably come out of the whole photo. A little bit of clarity, a little bit of texture. What I'm stuck on is I really don't know what to do about this back here because it looks so dull and bland. That's why I don't know if we should go darker or brighter or even bother like trying to fix it and just go for tones only, which is now probably what I'm gonna do. Probably put some mid-tones in it. Maybe I could at least make the greens and the yellows all the same color, and we can take some blues out as well. Keep the orange where they are, and the reds don't really affect much to it. It's literally yellow. The whole image is yellow and orange. Maybe there is a touch of blue we can put into the sky, make the sky a little bit brighter as well. Sometimes you don't even need to touch the color, but just bring up the luminance a little bit, which is just the brightness of the color. And that can just make such a big difference. Add a little bit of dark blue to like purple in the shadows here. And last but not least, pretty much the whole top of this car is just glass. Look at this guy's just loving life. That's the best job ever, honestly. So I'm just finishing up the windscreen here. You don't have to do this. This is a very subtle detail. I'm just gonna put some shadows back into the glass. I'm actually very happy with that. It's nothing too crazy. It's subtle, but not over the top. There's our before and after. Very subtle edit, but it's good. I used to take photos like this when I was just starting with photography. I was getting into night photography. Me and my mates we'd be out at all hours of the night. I always sort of have my camera with me. And I used to always take photos like this because I just thought it looked so cool. It was dark, it was ominous. This is a photo I took. It's a self-portrait at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I ran down into the train tunnel. Oh, so stupid. The trains weren't running, by the way. I probably would have shot this when I was like 15 or 16, which is 10 years ago now. I'm turning 26 in a couple weeks, so this photo is probably a decade old. Keep it up, honestly. Keep going. If you like this sort of style and you want to keep taking these dark, ominous photos, like just keep playing into that, honestly. As long as you ain't doing this. If you... Sorry, man. We're really tearing this guy apart. But as long as you're not doing this, You'll be fine. This photo was sent in. Before I started filming this video, I actually had to give it an edit because it took me so long to try and edit this photo because I really wanted to see what this picture would look like without any people in it. So I gave it an edit and then I tried to Photoshop out every single person in this photo. So this is before, this is my edit, and this is after getting everyone out of the picture. Please do not look at the AI generated GTR. Or the AI generated Golf Light as well. That is definitely an eyesore to look at. But this poor GTR has got two different headlights and the strangest bonnet mold ever. So definitely don't look over there. But hey, that's the best I could do. Okay, I'm not as good as some of you guys helping me out with some of my Photoshop edits. This is the best I could do. I did get a lot of people out of the photo, and I feel like it could have actually been a really cool shot. And that's why I don't really go to car meets to take photos anymore, because there's just so many people. You know what I do at car meets now? I like going to car meets, and usually a lot of people, especially anyone who has a modified car, they like to have their Instagram sticker on it. I like to take a photo of that, search them up later, and DM them and say, hey, loved your car, saw it at the meet today. Do you want to go out and take some photos? Especially if you're socially inept, that's probably the easiest way to do it. Otherwise, you could actually just go up and have a conversation. So that's what people do, and ask them if they want to go out and take their car out for a photo shoot some other time. But I actually feel like this spot could have been really cool as well, because I actually like the brick wall. I feel like an older classic car could have been so nice here as well. But it's actually a good shot. I kind of like what you've done. You know, you've actually tried to compose it, which is why I wanted to give this photo a chance and trying to edit some people out of it.